It's time for our broker update, and Donny Gilbert joins me now. And what markets are looking hot right now, Donny?
So I brought you our reefer outbound tender rejection map. And of course, this is kind of a high elevation look at what's going on in the reefer market. Our tender rejection rates, correlate very closely with the spot market rates. So I want to kind of start out on the West Coast. Out here in Washington, Idaho, and the Salt Lake City area, we've got a lot of apples that are being harvested. We've got hops for beer. This is the one time of year that the hops are harvested. So get them now because they're not going to be available the rest of the year. And we've got potatoes through the Idaho markets. So all through here, through Washington, Idaho, and Salt Lake City, all these have picked up a lot on reefer tender rejection rates.
How long does that usually last? Because I feel like this whole week we've been talking about apples, hops, potatoes, all of that stuff. So how long do we get to take advantage of this?
The apples start, and then we get into the September. We get the potatoes and the hops, and so we'll go another few more weeks, at least far through the end of September, with elevated tender rejection rates. And then of course it'll come in, it'll peak, and then it'll slowly start dying down. So strong markets for once up in the Pacific Northwest. This is a hard area to work with sometimes, and a lot of people avoid that area. And that's one reason that reefers are, right now in high demand, because a lot of people stay away from that area.
But you have another hot market you're going to show us
through
too.
the center of the country. The poultry area. This has been hot really all year long right now. And of course, right now it's getting near the end of September, and coming up in obviously November is Thanksgiving, which people are going to be needing a lot of turkey and also chicken as well. And so this area is really going to be an area to watch, because you got from kind of northern Arkansas all the way up through Iowa. That's where a lot of the poultry is produced. So these areas will start, right now they're elevated now. They're even going to get probably a little bit more elevated as we get in closer to the Thanksgiving holidays. Throughout, we got a few spots in the Midwest that have picked up over here around North Carolina, Virginia. But that's the strongest markets right now. So I want to dive into another market, the Joplin, Missouri market. So here I brought up a chart showing both our outbound tender volumes and our reefer tender rejection rates. Here in the blue is our outbound tender volumes. You see them pick up after the Labor Day holiday, and they've dropped down around 51.51 index points. So even though they dropped down, our reefer tender rejection rates, which is here in the green line, they have picked back up over the last few days. And this is a pretty good increase, up to now 32.76%. That's a very, very strong tender rejection rate. So our spot market is well above contract rates in the Joplin, Missouri area. So one area to send your reefer carriers towards is this area. And even the markets, even north and south, are also strong as well, but this one specifically. And another market that I want to look at today is the Milwaukee market, Emily. I brought again the same type of chart, and it's with our outbound tender volumes, which you see dropping down here for the Labor Day holiday, and then picking back up to a little bit below what we had kind of before the holidays. But what we saw is this line here in yellow is our reefer tender rejection rates. And they really picked up in the Milwaukee market. So here, this market's located just north of Chicago, and it's been fairly weak for quite a while. So this is another good market for carriers to run their reefer equipment into. And as for a broker, this gives them the ability to raise their rates. So if you're going to be bidding a load out of the Milwaukee market that's a reefer, you need to increase your rates kind of well above the spot market rates, or the market rates right now, because your carrier costs are going to be a lot more. So here, when they give the ability to run their rates up, it kind of helps them out with the margins, kind of give them a bit bigger margins. So this is a market definitely to look into while these tender rejection rates are elevated.
So if you're a broker right now, you would probably keep your trucks in the Midwest. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, right now, throughout the Midwest, there's been a lot of markets that are a lot stronger. The Southeast is kind of an area right now that a lot of carriers are trying, the smaller carriers are trying to stay out of, a lot weaker markets. So if you're going to run down to the Atlanta, let's say Atlanta, they're going to raise their rates on you. So that makes it very tough for you to increase those margins. So right now, the Midwest has been fairly strong. So if you're a broker, get those loads that keep the carrier in the Midwest, and they're more willing to work with you on their carrier rates. Or run the long haul out to California. California is, right now, they got a lot of produce still. They move all year long out of Southern California, or even to the Pacific Northwest, where you got that reefer markets booming. And drivers love those long hauls.
Yes.